afternoon and thanks for joining us. SaskTel continues to navigate a challenging time as regulations, competition and cord cutting bite into its bottom line. In its annual report, the telecommunications company saw nearly 4,000 customers ditch TV as subscriber services continue to affect its legacy customers. The company says increased competition and a willingness from customers to jump to other companies for a lower price affected bigger growth for its cell phone traffic. The biggest gains came from its Infinite fiber internet, but SaskTel says a ruling from the federal regulator to allow internet companies to use a competitor's infrastructure unfairly targets SaskTel rather than the large companies it was meant to.
So we're going to places that others would not go with that infrastructure and reliability, and we ensure our services are reliable. So this decision is really intended to further those objectives, but it's not going to do that here at all.
SaskTel says Rogers, TELUS and Bell wouldn't be spending millions of dollars to put in fiber internet in rural places like Choiceland to further its footprint across Saskatchewan. And now any company can profit off assets SaskTel is still spending money on. Patients, caregivers and healthcare professionals gathered in Saskatoon yesterday for an in-depth education session about bladder cancer. One of multiple events held across the country by Bladder Cancer Canada, clinical experts and people with lived experiences shared their stories and raised awareness about the disease. The organization says 37 Canadians are diagnosed with bladder cancer every day, or 13,400 a year.
We want to make sure that patients everywhere around Canada and then also around the world are aware of the signs and symptoms. Also, bladder cancer is the 5th most common cancer in Canada. It's the 9th most common cancer worldwide. So I feel like people don't discuss it enough.
The organization says bladder cancer is the most expensive cancer to treat on a per-patient basis. Regina police have made a significant drug bust in the city's East End. Police say the drugs, guns and cash pictured here was seized during a 2-month investigation by the drug unit. A home and 2 vehicles were searched on Aaron's Road last week after a 43-year-old was arrested at a nearby residential complex with weapons and cash in his possession. A home in Saskatoon was also searched as part of the investigation. 2 men, one from Regina and one from Saskatoon, faced drug and weapons charges.
It's reasonable that we're coming across them every day. And so it's not out of the realm to believe that now with these higher sophisticated people that are moving them, that there's going to be higher numbers and we're going to have bigger hauls, so to speak, as far as seizures are concerned.
Those 2 suspects have already appeared in court. A Saskatoon man is one of 3 men wanted by RCMP following a shooting and robbery in East Central Saskatchewan. 29-year-old Rylance Quaisance from Saskatoon, along with 32-year-old Damon Nippy and 23-year-old Kynan Desjardins, both from Yellow Quill First Nation, are facing weapons and robbery charges. On Saturday evening, 2 people were walking on the Yellow Quill First Nation when they were robbed by a group of men with a gun. One of the victims was shot and sent to hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. The 3 suspects have ties to the Saskatoon area. Anyone who has information about where they are is asked to contact police. Right smack in the middle of the week, Jeff, we've kind of gotten past some of those windy and rainy conditions. What's in store for us here?
Well, let's enjoy today and tomorrow, and we'll wait and see what Friday is shaping up like. Right now, we're still dealing with the remnants of that same system that continues to move out of the area. Now, on top of it, we've got some high pressure building in, but because of the heat and the fact we've got so much moisture on the ground, we do have these pop-up showers that are, expected throughout the day. But we are waiting for a big cool down, but we're going to enjoy the heat for now. But yes, a system coming out of the Gulf of Alaska is going to have a significant effect on the West Coast and us too. So we'll talk about that later on.
Drivers in Saskatoon are raising concerns as the city considers increasing the cost of residential parking permits. The residential parking permit program operates in areas with high parking demand, limiting how long non-residents can park on the street. Residents can purchase a permit that exempts them from those time limits, allowing them to park near their homes. City administration began reviewing the program last year. The city says in order to make it cost neutral, the current $25 annual permit fee would need to increase to $75 for a first-time permit and $120 for a second. But some residents say the proposed increases are too steep.
That is a service that the city provides to its residents that's funded by the tax base, the revenue from property taxes, and it shouldn't necessarily be on a cost recovery model. I think we have the right to live here, we have the right to own vehicles, we have the right to park in front of our own houses.
The city says it's been consulting with residents on possible changes to the program and will present its findings to City Council this fall. First Nations leaders are calling for urgent action to help repatriate a significant collection of Indigenous artifacts from a private collection in Switzerland.
Right now, time is of the essence. We need to get these back or they're going to be sold off. And, you know, we don't want to see these items in some billionaire's building in Dubai or New York City.
The items were formerly displayed in a privately owned museum near Zurich and contain what leaders say are sacred and culturally significant belongings. The artifacts, which include ceremonial items, beaded regalia, and historical weapons, originated from Indigenous nations across Canada and the United States. The museum owner has since retired and is seeking 20 million Canadian dollars for the collection. Community leaders are raising the alarm in order to prevent the collection from being broken apart and sold at private auction.
And by bringing them home, that would reconnect our younger generation to the history of our people, and it'll bring back identity to who we are, and it'll help give a better understanding of our culture, spirituality, and our identity to our young generation.
The Swiss Museum is officially closed and the collection has been placed into storage while discussions about its future continue. A Saskatoon athlete is preparing to take her flag football career to the next level. Ella Sowden has been awarded a major U.S. scholarship through the RCX Sports Foundation and the NFL, recognizing top female flag football players from around the world. The surprise announcement came Wednesday morning at SMF Field. Sowden has spent the last 2 years training with the Institute of Saskatchewan Football and has represented Team Saskatchewan at Football Canada's Elite Flag Nationals in both 2025 and 2026. This fall, she'll head to Kentucky to attend Lindsey Wilson University. Coaches say her work ethic and leadership have helped make her one of the province's top young athletes.
All my coaches I've had, all my female coaches especially, seeing them and seeing how good they are and how far they've gotten, just knowing that I've gotten the scholarship, I can take this to the next level too and prove what they've taught me has brought me this far, and it just makes me really proud to be able to share that with them.
Sowden leaves for Kentucky later this summer and will be studying sports management. Still ahead on CTV News, Real District tenants are reacting to a new direction being taken by the new owner. Businesses say Brandt is pushing them out. The takeover of Regina's Real District by Brandt is having a major impact on its tenants. Some of them say they might be facing eviction. Donovan Mace has more.
As the first phase of the sale for some properties at the Real District takes effect next week, some organizations are in limbo, wondering where they will be stationed following the takeover. Now, Regina City Council approved the sale to the Brandt Group of companies in May, which includes buildings like the AgX and Stockman buildings. According to the agreement, Brandt will assume existing leases and service agreements related to those buildings. And now the Saskatchewan Stock Growers Association Association says it will be vacating its Real District offices after receiving an eviction notice from Real. President Kelly Williamson saying while we anticipated there could be changes following the change in ownership, it is deeply disappointing that after 45 years as a tenant, we are being treated in this manner. Williamson pointing to the district's deep ties to the agriculture sector, adding further changes could lead to the loss of critical infrastructure for Canadian Western agribition. He says we are concerned the proposed changes could jeopardize the future of the event as we know it and undermine an institution that has long been a source of pride for our province's agricultural sector. In response to CTV News Tuesday, Brandt saying it recognizes the long history and important role these agricultural organizations play, and we understand the concerns this creates, adding it is working closely with Real to ensure a thoughtful and respectful approach to exploring options which minimize impact and accommodate organizations. The Stock Growers Association's lease is set to be terminated July 19th, and the first phase of this deal takes effect July 1st, with Brandt aiming to have full possession of the remaining buildings, including the Brandt Center, by September. Donovan May, CTV News, Regina.
The midweek weather forecast with Jeff is coming up after the break, and a Canadian study chooses the less is more approach to treating breast cancer. Jeff, I'll ask you to think about the word swirly as we get through this weather, but obviously that swirling wind has sort of made its way out of the prairies.
Yes, out of the prairies, but still lingering enough to have an impact. Now, not as much of an impact, John, so that the swirly is now squirreling around parts of Ontario and the American Midwest, but still having an impact on Manitoba. But in behind it, we have some high pressure building in, but the darndest thing about it is that the high pressure, you know, is also an indication we're getting a bit more sunshine. So things warm up during the day. We've got so much moisture on the ground that it's not a surprise we get pop-up showers, and we're certainly getting them. You can see the reflection on the radar there. In behind it, we are going to be seeing a low pressure center slide down, or certainly a cool pool of air move down from Alaska into BC and ultimately sliding across the prairies. That's one of the reasons why we're going to have a cool down on the weekend and a lot more instability. And yes, that means showers and thunderstorms. We'll talk about that in just a bit. Let's take a look at our future cast. So really not much in the way of wind as we roll into tomorrow. Those pressure lines staying far apart, but still, you know, hey, it cools off overnight, and then during the afternoon, pop, 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 jiffy pop. There we go. So the possibility of showers and thunderstorms is certainly there, even as we roll into a relatively warm day and sunny day in many locations. 9 degrees for Spiritwood overnight tonight, 10 for the Battleford's, 9 for Candle Lake, partly cloudy skies for Birch Hills, 9 in Rostern, and we're dealing with partly cloudy or clearing skies in Nipawin and Melfort. Temperatures of 9 in Nipawin, but 10 in Melfort for the overnight. Now into tomorrow, temperatures are back to seasonal values or slightly warmer. 24 for Spiritwood, more sunshine in the Battlefords and 25. It's also mainly sunny in Rostern at 24, but we're back into partly cloudy or mainly cloudy skies for Candle Lake and Birch Hills, and a high of 24 on Thursday. That's the same situation for Nipawin and area, and in Melfort, still not too bad. 23 degrees and mainly cloudy skies on Thursday. Here we go with the Gateway City. 9 degrees overnight tonight, a 30% chance of showers, a risk of a thunderstorm. Now those clouds will start to back off in the overnight period. Clearing skies and winds out of the southwest at 10, but the clouds show up again tomorrow. Mainly cloudy conditions by the time we get into the afternoon. 24 degrees, so slightly above seasonal by about a point, and the winds out of the south at 15. I guess not a surprise with that southerly flow. It tends to be warmer. And then 26 degrees with mainly sunny skies on Friday, and really enjoy that day because we've got ourselves a soggy situation as we roll into Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Saturday and Sunday, when all is said and done, there may be a total over those 2 days of about 40 millimeters of rain. So yes, and then it continues into the early part of next week. So we're going to see if it'll shape up for Canada Day celebrations, but we'll have to wait and see on that.
Well, and if it's too warm for you tomorrow, and you might remember this, depending if you're an older or younger brother, Jeff, but the swirly was when you'd lift a younger brother or a younger sibling and dunk their head into the toilet to cool them off. So.
What?
You never did that?
No, I never did that. Did I want to, engage the wrath of my mother? The answer is no. No.
Well,
Okay.
I was the youngest, so I was the guinea pig. There you go. Well, Jeff, the Saskatchewan Roughriders say their 2025-26 fiscal year ended with increased spending and a financial loss. The team says costs increased across several areas, including team operations, travel, and merchandise tied to the title run. They also point to a postponed home game in July, which led to added ticket office costs and fan compensation. The team says those factors contributed to what it calls exceptional items in an otherwise strong season.
When you have a successful year like we did on the field, you're going to see revenue growth, which is what we saw. But when you have the ultimate success of winning the Grey Cup, you're also going to have some expenditure growth as well. And then obviously we had the postponed game in July, which had a pretty significant impact. But for us, that was just about doing the right thing for our fans.
$4 million. The franchise's financials were independently audited by KPMG. The status of Riders running back AJ Ouellette is up in the air ahead of Friday night's game against the Toronto Argonauts. He missed practice yesterday, but was a limited participant today.
It's trending in the right direction, no doubt, but still trending, I would say. Just get him eye level today. Nothing serious, obviously, but we got another day, and then ultimately spit him out there on game day, see what we can do pregame.
Ouellette left the game on Saturday with an ankle injury against the Stampeders. He's questionable, but his replacements say they are ready if they get the call. That includes Quali Conley, a rookie who spent time in the NFL with the Bengals.
You don't know when your number is called, so just staying ready through if you want scout team, just do indie, just act like you're the guy and make sure you that's your mentality.
The Riders also signed running back Star Thomas today, a former Tennessee graduate who ran for almost 600 yards in 13 games last year, collecting 7 touchdowns. The Riders are expected to announce their game day roster tomorrow afternoon.
The Riders have been involved in some crazy games, and this matchup against Calgary did not disappoint. On October 17th of 2009, the Riders and Stamps clashed in a classic that was so good neither team deserved to lose. And that's exactly what happened. Good old Henry Burris was at quarterback for the Stamps, while Darian Durant was under center for Saskatchewan. What ensued was a seesaw battle that showcased the talents of Chris Getzlaff, Andy Fantuz, and Calgary's Joffrey Reynolds. The high-scoring affair had both teams deadlocked at 37 apiece heading into overtime. Rider receiver Chris Getzlaff would draw first blood in the extra frame, courtesy of this touchdown run, putting pressure on the Stamps. But Henry Burris and company also delivered by getting into the end zone. The final in this one was 44-44. Both teams combined for over 1,000 yards net offense and 10 touchdowns. The Saskatchewan Roughrider regular season game ended in a tie. And if you want to check out more classic sports moments from the days of VHS and cassette tapes, you can check them out on our website.
Do you have a community event you would like to promote? Or maybe you'd like to draw attention to your organization. Let your local CTV station help you spread the word. Contact us at 306-922-6020 or email panews@ctv.ca. You can appear on CTV Prince Albert's News at 5 and get your message to our viewers.
New research could change the way doctors treat breast cancer. The Canadian-led study is focused on a less is more approach to addressing the disease. Avis Favreau reports.
Good morning. What are you guys preparing today?
Beth Chavalia is convinced she's helped women around the world by taking part in an innovative Canadian study. Diagnosed with breast cancer, she was prescribed zoledronic acid, but instead of the typical 7 intravenous doses over 3 years, she got just 1.
The side effects were terrible. And then I actually remember saying to myself,
I'm so glad I don't have to do that 6 more times.
The drug is used to cut the risk that breast cancer will spread to the bones, but it can also cause nausea, seizures, and kidney disease. So in the study of over 200 women in Canada, researchers found that just one treatment appeared to work as well as 7, with no differences in cancer spread or deaths, but fewer hospital visits for the women and fewer side effects.
We knew a single infusion would stay in the body for 10 years, so it made no sense giving the drug every 6 months. That's why this trial is so important.
Beth says she returned to her work at the Parkdale Food Bank much sooner, had more time for her family, and 7 years later is still cancer-free.
I will advocate as much as I can to make sure this information gets out.
It's part of a new push in cancer research called de-escalation, tailoring chemotherapy and radiation, where it's enough to still control the cancer, but with less suffering for patients and downtime.
We are now starting to ask questions about, it's not just about how long we live, it's also about quality of life.
Some doctors say more studies are needed, but others believe that for breast cancer patients, they now have an option.
I'd be totally confident with recommending my patients just a single dose.
Meanwhile, scientists say they're planning other studies to see if less cancer treatment may be as good, if not better, for patients. Avis Favreau, CTV News, Toronto.
All right, Jeff, everybody's attention was on Vancouver today, but yesterday, a group of orcas put on quite the show just outside of Vancouver.
Oh my God!
There's video showing a group of orcas swimming and splashing alongside a boat, much to the delight of people on board, of course. Whale sightings have become more common in the waters around Metro Vancouver. I can tell you from experience, though, Jeff, I've never seen them this close.
Wow.
A study from UBC says more whales are visiting after years of conservation efforts. And that is, I think you'd be looking out toward North Vancouver there, and I forget what the name of that bridge, maybe the Lions Gate, but that's...
Let's go with that, sure.
You're essentially just outside of downtown Vancouver. So to see wildlife like that, and you know, you've seen them always on the hockey jerseys. To see them actually moving and not in an aquarium is pretty cool.
Absolutely stunning.
Yeah, there you go. Nice weather there too.
For now.
Rain's coming, don't worry.